day, Mike. Welcome back to Great Day. The rugby season doesn't start until January, but Houston SaberCats are already on the prowl, and they have a new head coach and a new stadium. Please welcome Paul Healy, along with assistant coach Paul Emerick and rugby player Sam Windsor. Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
All right. It's the reason why I said good day, mate. You are from originally?
Australia.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And?
I'm from the exotic island of Iowa.
Oh, there you go. Iowa, yes.
And another Aussie.
An Aussie as well. Okay, so were you living in Houston before?
No, it's just my first time. I arrived Sunday afternoon.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, a bit jet lagged, but it's been, it's great. I'm really enjoying it. So, a long trip, but it's going to be worthwhile.
Yeah, okay, so rugby. I think there are people who either really know about it or people who kind of go, rugby. So what is it about the sport? In fact, it's one of the fastest growing right now. What is it about the sport that attracts players and attracted you?
I've been coaching for a long time, I guess, so it was a profession, a passion of mine to get into coaching. But I think, you know, it's an open sport. As you said, it's growing because of the sevens and now the 15s, and I think people like to see action.
You said the sevens and the 15s. And
rugby sevens.
Oh,
and then
you
rugby
looked at me
15s.
like I knew what that was.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm sure you know.
Yeah, help me out a little bit here.
Yeah, so it's a seven-a-side game, which has grown really well in the United States, and especially with they've attracted some college footballers, and it's just an open sport that goes for 7 minutes each half, and people like to see tries and they like to see action. And
I got to see my first game last season when I sang the national anthem. I have to tell you, I was mesmerized because the stuff that's happening on the field is just, and the action never stops, which is part of the attraction as well.
It's flowing game, so you think of soccer, except there's a bunch of contact, collisions in there and stuff. So very dynamic game.
Yeah.
We're encompassing a lot of American sports. Think basketball, think soccer, American football.
Yeah.
We're going to meld it into one game, and that's rugby. So it's I loved it.
How did you become interested in it?
I grew up in Iowa.
King, yeah.
I was wrestling and playing football, and when I went to college, played a year of football, found rugby, and then my journey took a crazy road. Yeah.
All right. So Sam, how did you end up playing rugby outside of other sports? And of course, rugby is much more popular in Australia and England and places like that.
Yeah, it competes with soccer as, you know, football competes with baseball here, if you like. So it's a winter sport back in Australia. So I'd play cricket in the summer, and then started off playing soccer when I was, 5 and 6. But Dad grew up playing rugby, so I think it was inevitable that my brother and I were going to end up playing rugby. And to save Mum and Dad driving all over town, I played in my brother's team. So that was at 7, and then 20 odd years later, I'm still playing rugby.
Still playing rugby. All right.
It's taken me all over the place.
We moved into this new building. We had a lovely discovery when we were roaming the building, because that's what we do in our off time during our lunch hour. And we went, does that say Houston SaberCats on the door? And yes, you office right above us there. Okay, so you have a nickname.
Yep.
And the nickname is the Cactus.
Yes.
As an assistant coach, you're the Cactus. And
yes.
Which one of you like to describe? Would you like to describe as a player why he's
I've only
named
found this out recently. So Paul Healy
I'm
is
still trying to understand what cactus means.
Okay. Well, it's a plant we have.
I understand what a cactus is.
San Antonio more
and
so.
Being in Texas,
yes.
I suppose there's lots of cactuses.
Yes, cacti.
But I think this is a unique situation.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Let's hear about this.
Well, we had 2 Pauls, so when we were emailing and we were trying to discuss players and recruiting and stuff, it got a bit confusing. So we needed a nickname for Paul Emerick.
So Paul number 1, Paul number 2 was not going to work.
We didn't give it to him. This was one that I think came from his days playing rugby.
Yes.
And he was a bit of a prickly customer.
I see.
For lack of a better term. But,
maybe not the nicest guy on the field.
Yes.
Lovely off field.
Yes.
Lovely person, but perhaps on the field.
On the field, you got to do what you got to do, right? It's
You
a
can
competition.
dig deeper if you want.
Yeah, he says we can dig deeper if we want. We can go to the land down under if we want to, but we're not going to go there. All right.
30 for 30 segment there. For
okay, yeah, we're going to have you come back. In fact, I'm going to go up there in my lunch hour. I'm going to find out the rest of the story. Okay, we're going to go through just a couple of some rugby terms. Like one is try. For example, I was trying at that game to get your attention, Sam, but you were not.
See,
look at me.
I was
trying, but you didn't look over at me. You were too busy playing. But anyway, okay, so try means?
It's a touchdown, essentially, so we don't get to do a big
I was trying to get a
spike
touchdown, and that's why I was doing the try thing, but anyway. All right, okay, it's a touchdown. Okay, a ruck?
Anytime there's a tackle, there's a fair contest for the ball, and that whole situation is called a ruck.
Okay. The scrum, which is something that's just really, it looked like y'all are all getting together to just like kind of cheer each other on, but that's not what's happening during a scrum, is it?
I think it's a male domination thing.
It's a male domination thing. Okay, so the scrum, you're all gathered there, and you're like kind of, tell us what's going on.
That's just a restart play. So if a team fumbles the ball or there is an infringement, the attacking team gets to feed the ball into the scrum. So 8 players from each team bind up and engage sort of head to head, shoulder to shoulder, and they push over the ball to try and win possession to restart play.
Kind of like the opposite of the tug of war, so pulling away, you're pushing it.
So at any moment in rugby, there's a fair contest for the ball. Okay. So that's where we start with the scrum. It's a fair contest. At the ruck, it's a fair contest for the ball.
And I'm afraid to ask what this next one is. I know we always kind of gloss over it, but it's a hooker. It's what it says it right here. It's what the term is. I'm not making stuff up. Okay.
I'll have to answer
yes.
You're right, mate. You're right.
Yes.
I know there's other terminologies for it, but I guess that what happens is the hooker is the guy in the middle of the scrum. So he has 2 people either side, and he has his hands up, and they bind, and they can make a contest. They make a contest, and then he hooks for the ball. So when you put the ball in, the hooker hooks.
Okay.
Is that what happens?
There you go. Okay, well that's why it's called that. That makes all the sense to work. Okay. One of the things that you all do here as well is you have various community programs where you're teaching the next generation of rugby players.
Yeah.
Tell us about those programs.
So the city were kind enough to help us build our stadium. So Aviva Stadium's down south, Airport Boulevard and the 288. So we've partnered with the Houston Independent School District, specifically the Sunnyside area, to take rugby into the schools and bring kids out to play rugby. So that's one of our initiatives, but we're running a flag rugby program. So every second Saturday starting this weekend, I think it's 8-year-olds up to 14-year-olds can come out and play flag rugby, which is essentially the same as flag football. It's non-contact. If you want to learn the games, we're inviting people to come out and try that.
That's a great way to learn the game and focus on that. You also have your SaberCats summer reading programs.
We do.
We do. I can talk about that because I was on here. We had the book drive the other week, but we're encouraging kids to read books over the summer, get outside and be active for 30 minutes to an hour. They can film it and sort of document it, send it into us, and then we're going to invite them out to our games for free. And,
very cool. And you all were very active in our book drive that we had as well. So thank you very much. And you wanted to say, Cactus?
No, I was just saying. What's great about our team is we have a big initiative to grow rugby, and our players on the SaberCats actually out in the community. Sam coaches at St. Thomas. We've got players that are all over the community coaching at high school. So lots of interaction with our players and the youth.
And that great stadium that you mentioned, you have a movie night at the stadium.
We do.
Yep. So we've partnered again with Houston Community College down there towards Pearland there. So our first movie night, first of 3, is on the 24th of October. People can come out, bring a blanket, bring a chair, sit on the actual field we play on, and then we're going to play, I think, Black Panther's the first movie.
Yeah, because there's not a Black SaberCat, so it's Black Panthers.
Not yet. There might be.
We're
in talks with Marvel to maybe have our own superhero. But no, it's going to be a great night. It's going to be fun.
I was trying to figure out what a SaberCat really looked like, so I could buy like a SaberCat print dress, but I really couldn't. This is as close as I got. Okay, so Cheetah, whatever it is, right here. But anyway, guys, thank you so much.
Thanks for having
and we
us.
look forward to that season in January. But in the meantime, go ahead and get your season tickets and the whole bit. For more information and to keep up with the Houston SaberCats rugby team, we have a link on GreatDayHouston.com. I'll see you at lunchtime.